6Direction, one of the more useful internal power models. They're all useful, but this one is particularly the one that people find that they most use in daily life and in their martial arts. It's called 6Direction. What we're trying to do with these internal power models is we're working the fascia, and in principle what we're trying to do is remove any slack in our body so that our body is then connected from toe to head. And the way we do this is we create opposing directions in our body, and as the name, 6Direction. So for example, the first two directions are up and down, and one way to get into it, the way to practice, is if your feet about shoulder width apart, your feet nicely splayed apart so that the weight is throughout the foot, equally displaced. And then what you want to do is you bend your legs going forward, and at the same time lean back. And what this does is it pushes your feet into the mat. And then keep all of that, but straighten the top part. Now you'll find that your feet are pressed into the mat. So we have the downward direction. Now we want the upward direction. So you imagine that your skeleton is made of metal and a big magnet is pulling it up. So we have the downward direction and we have the upward direction. Okay, that is 2 directions of 6. The next 2, we do the same exercise. We can go down at the front. Remember, we're bowing our legs, we're not just bending our legs, so there's a forward motion. And at the same time that we're bowing our legs, we bow out our back to compensate for going forward. So we bow out our back. And remember, we've also got the other 2 directions, going down and looking up. So we have these. Okay? So again, you start from the beginning. As a complete beginner, bend backwards and bend your legs forward, and you feel the press in the ground. Make yourself straight and think stretching upwards for those 2 directions. And then bend your legs a little bit more, bow your legs, and then puff out your lower back. And now we've got these 2 directions. And now the final, last 2 directions. You imagine like you're carrying that bow, what do they call it, an ox bow over your arms, like when you're carrying buckets of water. And what you do is you pull into your elbows. You don't pull into your hands, but pulls into your elbows. And you'll feel a stretch in your arms, and you'll feel a stretch pulling on your lats. So we have these 4 directions already, up and down, forward and backwards. And we're going to add the last one. We pull into our elbows. Pull, pull, pull. Pull, pull, pull. And then like you're hugging a tree, you bring it round in front of you, but you keep the pull going in your elbows. So it looks something like this. This is 6 directions. And relax. So what we're doing is we're creating opposing forces in our body. We're stretching down, we're stretching up. We're stretching forward, we're stretching back. We're stretching to the left, we're stretching to the right. In so doing, we take away all the slack in our body. Can you see that? And the reason we practice this is this type of model is very good for creating sort of a shield around you. Imagine if there's a force coming into your stomach. Normally, you would just push outwards to go against it. But here what we do is we go up and down, forwards and backwards and sideways. So anything coming into our body is dissipated. Okay, so in normal daily life, this can be if you fall over, something knocks into you. If you're picking heavy things up, you go into these 6 directions. And the whole point of this internal power model is you're connected from head to toe. And so you're one organism. So when I pick something up, it's all of my body that's picking it up. I'm not putting the strain just in these joints or this joint and this joint. It's just 6 directions. So one last time. You're going up and down by bowing your legs into the mat, bending backwards so you feel a press going in, and then make yourself upright. Okay, keep this the same. Then think upwards. You've got the downward press, so like you're being pulled out your skull. And then forwards and backwards, so unbow a little bit more going forwards, but also unbow your back, or bow your back, so it looks like this. And finally, the last one. Stretch from the elbows, and you'll feel a pull on your lats and arms. And then like you're hugging a tree. This is 6Direction. Okay? And what we do to practice it is two ways really. You go into it bit by bit, up and down, forwards and backwards, sideways. And you hold it for about 10 seconds. And then relax. In time, another way that you will learn to do it is you just go straight into it. Okay? So you just, as though someone just tapped you on the shoulder, you just go straight into 6Direction, up and down, forwards and backwards and sideways. What this does is it's creating a protective layer in you. If you use this in break falling in terms of Aikido, and if you were just falling in the street, going into 6Directions can save you a lot of injury. Okay? So the point why we're learning these internal power models is for body conditioning, in our case, for daily life body conditioning. You can become immensely strong, especially with 6Direction, because your whole body is being used for everything. And you're stopping a lot of the day-to-day collisions and things that we have from hurting one particular part of your body, because it dissipates all over. Okay? This is 6Direction. Thank you.